Bismillah. Assalamu alaikum. Just wanted to share this with you guys. You know, we often think of like the opposites of faith and kufr, like faith versus disbelief. And what I wanted to say to you is that something that's been on my mind is that in the battle against faith or truth, the real enemy is fear. It's not even lies on a certain level. Like, the real enemy is fear. Because in the face of fear, even if you know the truth, even if you have the truth, you're so clouded. We become so clouded in such a state of anxiety that we can't do anything with the truth, right? We cannot speak the truth. We cannot live the truth because we're so afraid. And subhanAllah, I think it's no coincidence that our prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said that what his concern for us in, towards the end of time was not that we would abandon our belief per se, but was that we would become people who love the dunya and fear death, right? Which is so funny because the dunya is constantly leaving us. Like everything else, it comes from and belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And death is like on a one-way march. You know what I'm saying? Like we are advancing to meet it, and it is advancing to meet us. And so this fear of death and this love of dunya, this attachment to the world, like, it's a real problem. I think about the last few years, the state of fear and anxiety that so many people have been in, and it literally doesn't even matter what the truth of the situation is. It doesn't matter. The fact that people were sold a bill of lies, that people were told, do this and everything will be okay, do this, will return to normal. The fact that that hasn't happened, the fact that it didn't pan through that way, it doesn't matter because people are so afraid. No matter what reports come out, no matter what we hear from the companies that knew X, Y, and Z didn't work when they started pushing it on people, no matter how much they changed their story, it doesn't matter because people are so afraid. SubhanAllah. Like, may Allah protect us. And I understand fear, of course. I'm not saying that I'm immune from that. But what I am saying is that we need to replace our fear with taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We need to replace our fear with consciousness of God, with being present with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with being aware of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with having awe of Allah. Because once we do that, all of the reminders start to come in. Nothing will pass us that was meant for us. Nothing that is meant for us will pass us. Every soul shall taste of death, right? Once we remember those things, they're actually freeing. It's actually a much freer way to live. I'm just saying we have to really be conscious of that our enemy, after kufr, right? After just straight up disbelief or ignorance or covering of the truth, hiding of the truth, and I guess, and maybe fear falls into this because that's what the fear does. The fear comes in and it covers over the truth. SubhanAllah. Another thing I was thinking, maybe it should be a separate video, but people are so afraid and people have become so accustomed to not trusting Allah, to not trusting themselves, that it just becomes so easy for us to be deceived. We have to, we gotta just stop this nonsense, okay? Like, Allah is the only one in control. I'm not saying don't be cautious. I'm not saying don't move through the world with wisdom. Yes, absolutely, we have to do that. We don't throw ourselves into dangerous situations. We take our precautions. We seek advice of trustworthy people who are experts in their fields, and and all of that. We do all of that. At the same time, we don't let fear overcome us to the point that we are now unable to assess things for ourselves. We are now unable to see things as they are because everything is being filtered through a lens of fear. And be very aware that there are, You know, Allah told us that Shaitan is an avowed and clear and open enemy, right? And he has his minion, and he has his followers. And there is a very clear movement to get people and keep people in a state of perpetual fear. Don't fall into it, please. This is for me and you, 'cause it's very difficult. We gotta just, we can't fall victim to it. So that's all I wanted to say. Assalamu alaikum.